Hello class, welcome to the next unit in the week 13 material, and in this segment we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at the latitude and longitude variables that we get out of the NetCDF file. So you may recall from previous segments that the way we get those variables out of the NetCDF file is to do something like so. So on line 22, here we're saying we want the lon variable, and that gives us back an array of longitudes, and the latitude variable, or the lat variable in the NetCDF file, by having this set up, we get back the array of latitudes that are contained within the NetCDF file. And this is really important that we have this sort of a reference here, the longitude and the latitude variables, because as we'll see later on in the next segment, those in fact become very important when we're actually looking to get the information out of our main data set, our sea surface temperatures, which is on line 21 here. But you may recall in previous segments we showed what the various values of latitude are, and we did that a couple different ways. Here we're going to show how to get sort of the latitude array from using the Python code, just like we did in the previous segment with the time variable. But just like an array, just any other array, the very first entry in this latitude, we should be able to get that by typing the name of our array. So again, this is our variable that we're interested in, latitude, and this is our array. If we want to pull the very first entry out of that array, then we should be able to do something like latitude bracket 0, which is what we have in this print statement, and then we're going to say print out what latitude number 0 is. And if we go about doing that by using the Python command, you see it prints out negative 79.5, which is in fact this very first entry in our latitude array. And if we want to do latitude number 1, that should give us the next entry. It'll tell us what latitude number 1 is. And in fact, it is negative 78.5, which is what we expected here. And I can continue on plugging numbers into these brackets, but also something that's kind of important to keep in mind is how many items are contained within the array. So we saw earlier that you don't want to install updates right now. We saw earlier that the maximum or the number of values inside of our latitude array was 170. So the largest number that we can put inside the brackets is that number minus 1, which is 169 down here. So if we want to see what the last value is in the latitude, we can just simply plug that number in and get 89.5. But if I try to plug in 170, keeping in mind there's 170 latitudes in there, but the computer starts counting at 0, so the largest value you can put in here is 169, hence how I get this error message here. And the same rule also applies to the time variable, even though I didn't demonstrate it in the previous segment. And then if I wanted to know what latitude number 50 is inside of our latitude array, I could also do that. And that is negative 29.5, which is in fact 29.5 degrees south. And I could also do a similar exercise for the longitude array. So here, I'm going to say, give me the longitude array, which we obtain with this command up here on line 22 that I have highlighted. And that then puts an array in longitude, which is on the left-hand side. And here we say, just like any other array, we can pull the very first entry, what we would call the first entry, the computer calls the 0th entry. We can pull that entry out and have the computer print out what that value is. And you can see, make sure you save your files. You can see now, there we go, the longitude is 1 degree east, which corresponds to the result that we got back from doing the NCDump command. Or if we want to print out the entire damn array, then we can do something like this. And you can see it just prints out the entire array. And we can also print out different slices. Or first, let me actually go ahead and just confirm we do in fact get some sort of rhythm here, some sort of consistency. So we should get 3, and we do in fact get 3. And if I want to, I can print out slices of the array just like any other array. So here, give me latitude or longitudes 0 through 9. Remember, this upper bound is not inclusive. We don't include longitude number 10 in this slice. And you can see this gives me the first 10 entries of longitude in our longitude array. And I could do the same thing for the latitude array if I wanted to. But this may seem kind of trivial, looking at the time longitude and latitude arrays, but this is in fact very important for our data set, and we're going to see exactly why in the next segment. So with that, I will see you guys in the next segment.